one, as we know, explains
we have, I think,
and which is Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam, Manvantaresh, Ishanukata, Nirodha, Muktir, Ashraya, and Uttaya. And as you mentioned, again, all the 9 topics, uh, they prepare us to enter in the 10th topic.
Yes, exactly.
And
the real purpose of Bhagavatam is Lord Krishna. Satyam Param Dimahi, Advayagyan, we discussed in 1 to 11. So that's definitely the Vastu Nirdesh. Isolate in order to give precedent to the topic at under study, which is Lord Krishna. The 9 first topics are going to be preparing us. So it's very important to understand. And remember 112, Vidyam Vastavamatra Vastu Shivadam. Dealing with the Vastu. Shivadam means for the well-being of all. Shiv, Lord Shiv means all auspicious. Shivadam. Vidyam Vastavamatra Vastu Shivadam. So this is the absolute reality, Lord Krishna. And here we are reminded to 10.1 to 10.2, and by different ways, actually, the whole purpose of Bhagavatam is to it's pointing out to Lord Krishna, whether it be by dictionary meaning, by interpretation, by directly, indirectly, whichever way you look at it, the ultimate declaration of the Vedic knowledge is Lord Krishna. That's the conclusion of the Acharyas. That's the conclusion. What is the verse 15:15? So here in 2.10.2, there is different, it's mentioned, Shruta, Shrutena, Artena, Angyasa, by Vedic evidence, by direct explanation, by stories. Jiva Goswami explained, can take the form of stories. We should never be bewildered by it, being sidetracked by Bhaushakayanantasho in Bhagavatam, in Gita 2:40, by Shaka. Shaka means branches. Bhaushakayanantasha. We should not be bewildered by sub-branches. Actually, the whole Vedic portion, the Vedic Praman, points out to Lord Krishna. That's the point. And those, even the great Acharya who missed that point, they are no more great Acharya. They just find themselves in the dust. So this is very important too. We have this predicate very clear in our consciousness. And of course, that is why the Bhagavatam is considered a Mahapuran. And there's not 5 topics like a regular Puran, there's 10 topics.
Yeah.
So, and here we're dealing with Dashamasya Vishuddhyatam in 2.10.2, the Svarup Lakshan of the other 9. 9 Navanam.
Svarup Lakshan of the 9, what does that mean?
So, in other words, it means in order to attain knowledge of the Tattva, the great devotees describe the Svarup Lakshanam of the other 9 Navanam.
You mean the 9 topics?
Yeah, in other words, the whole purpose is the 10th canto, Krishna. But first we are being told about the first 9 topics. So we don't perceive, see, we don't perceive the tense topic right away. Let's say someone who reads Bhagavatam at first sight, even in the first canto, you may not understand why they're saying the whole purpose is Krishna. It may not be so apparent. So
Yeah.
that is why the devotees, and that is why Prabhupada so much emphasizes we should go through very sequentially through the nine cantos. So the devotees described the nine to isolate the supreme tattva, the supreme tattva directly, angyasa, by various verses of praise, by shrutena, or by various stories, artena. So in other words, the nine topics are being described, and very subtly, without even you noticing it, you're going to. It's like you're traversing a big, so many chambers, and you reach the inner sanctum. I don't know if you've been to Sri Rangam. The whole town is a village, is a temple. The whole town. There is nine gates. I remember I never seen a city like this in my life. It's totally beyond description. And this is the biggest temple on the planet Earth. And the whole town was offered by Lord Narayan to Lord Brahma. And you have to go in this life to see this temple. It's beyond description. So you enter different chambers, and then finally you reach the inner sanctum, meaning where the deity is here is. So from 210.3, we what is I sent you some homework very late last night. So what is sarga when we say sarga?
Sarga is the 16 items that
Yes,
that Swayam that's given by Krishna himself,
yes,
which are the first gross element, the five gross elements: fire, ether, water, air,
yeah,
earth, and then the other five sense objects: eyes, nose, skin, tongue, ears, and then object perceived by the senses: sound, form, taste, smell, touch, and the mind. So Sarga is then it's handed over to Brahma. Then he starts using these ingredients to for Visarga, for the process of Visarga.
yes. So it's good to remember in terms of groupings. Perhaps I can write it down for you in the in the chat. Let's see if I can find the chat here. So first of all, from 210.3, in order to make the tenth topic, which is Ashraya, very clear, Shukdev is going to speak seven shlok, starting from 210.4. Even 210.3 is the first one. Uh, So in 210.3, we are discussing about saga. So what is saga? And you will find this list of 16 everywhere. I don't know if you remember 131, long, long back, 131, the same story. What are the Sodashanam? Sodashanam means 16. In the Bhagavatam, try to remember Shodashanam, 16. The 16 primordial elements. So what is the first one? Pancha Mahabhut. Or it's easier to remember in groupings. Pancha Mahabhut.
Mm-hmm.
This way you don't get mixed up. And try to always get it in order, from subtle to gross. So Akash, air, uh, water, no, fire, water, and earth. That's Pancha Mahabhut. Panch means five. Okay, that's clear.
So it's starting
So
from
why there is no the three subtle elements? Mind, intelligence, ego.
Yeah, actually, this will come later. First,
Oh, okay.
the Pancha Mahabhut has have nothing to do with the Jiv. They are elements, the creation of the gross elements. They're coming from at the level of Sarga. And then you find another groupings of the Tanmatra. And remember, from the Pancha Mahabhut will accrue the Tanmatra. What are the Tanmatras?
Five working senses.
No, no, don't get mixed up. The Tanmatra are the sense objects.
Oh,
Yeah, don't get mixed up. Tanmatra. Tan. So, Tanmatras. So, Vishayan, sometimes it's called Vishayan in Sanskrit. Vishayan. Vishayan, yeah. So, what are those? And they correspond to the Pancha Mahabhut. It's not difficult. What is the if you take the Pancha Mahabhut, let's take the most subtle the Pancha Mahabhut. What is the most subtle Pancha Mahabhut?
style.
It's Akash, ether. So ether, it's extremely subtle primordial element in the creation. And what's the connection with the Tanmatra?
Sound.
From ether,
Sound.
sound. Very good, Prabhu. Uh, because remember, thanks to ether, you can hear me now, even though you are, I mean, thousands of kilometers away. The sound is there. Why? Because ether transmits the sound. That's the point. So you can see the intimate connection between Akash and the sound. And then the the next one will be
air.
very good. And you go back to Pancha Mahabhut. The next one is air. What is the, I would say, the byproduct of air in terms of Tanmatras?
Um,
I would say foam.
Ah, no, no, no. Getting mixed up.
touch,
Very good.
touch.
The tactile sensation. We have, see, why can we assess objects when you, in your
Yeah,
hand,
yeah, yeah.
you,
You
you,
feel, yeah.
take the grip, the grasp, you grasp the table, the foot of a table, or it's very hard. You cannot. Why? Because you have a skin, and number two, you have hairs on your body. It's extremely scientific. You have hairs on your body, so you can assess the texture of things, the touch. It is supple, it is hard, it is rugueux. I don't know how you say that in English. Rugueux en français. Uh, the assessment of the tactile sensation is because of the air in the atmosphere. Then number three, let's go back to Pancha Mahabhuts.
Fire.
Yeah. So now, what is the Tanmatra that corresponds to fire?
This.
No,
No.
forms. If there is no fire, I mean, it's simple to understand. If there is no sun in the sky, you cannot see anything. You cannot see yourself, you cannot see your hand, you cannot perceive the sense objects around you. You follow? So, forms, because of the fire, you can see forms. And fire is a byproduct of the sun. Okay? So, number four,
Water.
yeah. thanks to water, you're going to be able to go back. Let's go back to Tanmatra. The taste. Why? Because you have saliva in your mouth. Because of this, you can even assess the different taste of the food. There should be seven tastes when you eat a meal. So, and then finally, the Panchamahabhut, which consists of all the previous earth, basically earth has all the tanmatras within it. What is the tanmatra corresponding to earth?
Smell.
Smell. And yes, exactly. So you can see how precise is Bhagavatam. So again, Panchamahabhut, five, tanmatras, another five. And then, of course, in order to be able to access the sense object, you need senses. You follow? So if you stick to the list of 2, 10, 3, it's called Indriya. Indriya. So in other words, the the knowledge acquiring senses, the Indriya, Gyanendriya. And now finally, Moshika Prabhu, we're coming to the the Linga Sharir. Linga Sharir means Antakaran, the subtle body, Ahankar. Because basically Ahankar, that's the main anga of the subtle body. Mind and intelligence are just byproducts of Ahankar, basically. But the key guy is Ahankar. So, and then look at the Sanskrit 2, 10, 3. Indriya, we discussed just now. Indriya means the Gyanendriya. And then Diyam. So Diyam is very important word here. Diyam means Mahatsattva, but Jiva Goswami goes deep in that. He explained basically it means the intelligence, and he explained very nicely. I'll tell you what he says. Let me find it for you. Yeah. The word D, you can see in 3, D, indicates the totality of unmanifest matter together with false ego. So we're talking about the pradhan. Pradhan is the unmanifest matter. It hasn't been even broken down into Mahatattva. The modes are not even there. So, but this is inert. Remember, it needs a conscious being to agitate. So Brahman, or Adhikart, Krishna, Brahman, the supreme controller, generates these physical and non-physical elements. How? How is it transformed? Just like you're making some brew in your pot, a cooking pot, you're gonna have to separate the elements. So who's doing that? The modes. The modes are going to become unbalanced. You follow? So Mahavishnu, the Supreme Brahman, Param Brahma, Paramdam, Pavitramidam Uttamam, the Supreme Controller, he generates these physical and non-physical elements by coding the modes to become in balance and produce transformation. Then it becomes Mahatattva. Remember 111, Tejo Valvidam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisa Gomresha. Whatever we see around you, around the universe, those universes, what are those? They are transformations of the modes. Tejo Varimridam Yata, earth, water, fire being transformed. That is Saga. Saga stops here. It stops here. The 16 elements, bas. Then 210 explained very nicely Visarga. So what is Visarga? Visarga.
We can't see the screen.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Can you see now?
Yes, no.
Yeah.
Bhagavatam.
We are here, the 10 characteristics of Purana, and in order to isolate the ashraya, we're going to discuss starting from 3. There's going to be 7 shlok to explain the different 9 topics, right? So please tell me now about Visarga as explained in 3, in 210.3. Remember, who is the secondary creator?
Brahma.
Yes. So the secondary creation is called Visarga. Sarga, Visarga. And Brahma is one name, it's got many names. One name is Viraj Purush. Is the Purush of Viraj, of, in other words, is the universal person, Brahma. Is the embodiment of Rajagun. So his creation is called Purush. So this saga, what is it in plain and simple terms, is the sending force of moving and non-moving beings. You follow? This is what it is. When it is being dispersed, uh, not only Stavara Jangama, there's 2 types of beings, Stavar, moving and non-moving, Jangama. So that's what it is. When Brahma does it, that is its job, is going to disperse, is going to send forth, that's a better term, all these bodies, mobile, immobile bodies, and within which the jiv, the soul, the chitana will go and lodge its himself inside. That's the job of it. I'm just doing recap. Huh? And then from 4, I think we stopped at 4, but we didn't give full justice to 4. Stitir, Vikunta Vijay. So let's read again 4. Stitir Vikunta Vijaya, Oshanam Tadanugraha, Manvantarani Saddharma Utaya Karma Vasanaha. This is 4. This you can read the Sanskrit or English or both as you want.
The Stitir Vaikuntha Vijaya Poshanam Tad Anugraha Manvantarani Saddharma Udaya Karma Vashanaha. Translation. The right situation for the living entities is to obey the laws of the Lord and thus be in perfect peace of mind under the protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Manus and their laws are meant to give right direction in life. The impetus for activities is the desire for fruitive work. So,
Yeah, please explain. Huh? There's some important terms. Vaikuntha Vijaya is a beautiful name of Krishna.
so this verse is a little bit elaboration of the first verse 210:1.
Yes, no, we are definitely, we're going to be describing each and every topic of 210.1. So go ahead. What is 4?
So practically in verse 4, we see how even Prabhupada is elaborately explaining that living entities are duty bound they are supposed to follow Dharma. And
Yes.
following Dharma means the law of God. And why they have to do that? In order to create auspiciousness in their life and ultimately become pure devotees. And while they follow the law of God, which is Dharma, they will be protected by the Lord, and eventually they will live peacefully.
Yes.
And the you see the Manus being appearing in different ages. Their purpose is to give guidance, proper guidance for Jiva to perform Sadharma. Sadharma is ultimately performing duty to go back home, back to Godhead.
Yes. Very good. That's very good. And you can see in 210 stiti. And what's the meaning of stiti or stanam? It's a synonym.
Sthiti means position, right situation, how one should be properly situated.
Yes. And that is why this beautiful name is there. Vaikunta Vijay, such a beautiful name. Stiti is the victory. Vijay. Jaipur. Stiti Vaikunta Vijay. The victory of Lord Vishnu. What is Lord Vishnu's job? The victory. Stiti means maintenance, the place. The victory of Lord Vikund. So, the supreme glory of the Lord. What is his glory? Nityo Nityanam Shitana Shitananam. Eko Baonam Yo Vidadati Kamal. Is maintaining us. That is his glory. Just like a father who has 10 kids, people say, wow, can you imagine this man is maintaining beautifully 10 children? So, what to speak of Krishna, Vaikuntha Vijay is maintaining all of us, Stava Jangama, not only mobile, immobile also. So that is his glory. The supreme glory of the Lord is maintaining all the jiv in their respective position under the laws, under his laws. That is his glory. So this is beautiful. And Pushanam. And Pushanam means,
Gives protection,
yeah, protection,
maintenance.
I would say sustenance even. You know, he maintains us, Nityo Nityanam, by bestowing his grace. Just like the father is going to take care of the education of the boys and girls. So, you follow, he loves to maintain his devotees. That is his grace on them. So, that's how it works. And then Manvantarani, you can see here, uh, the Manus, there's 10, 14 Manus in per Kalpa. So all the history of the Manu, the saintly kings who ruled during each Manvanta lasts very long, 330 million years. And the history of all the other saintly persons, who lived during those periods under the Lord's favor, King Shibi, there's so many great kings, Maharaj Dasharat, Ambarish. So, and the deeds, what are they establishing? Sadhana Pricha, like you said, they are establishing through their deeds Sadhana. Sadhana is, and of course, we could say Lord Jesus Christ, for instance. This is a beautiful example. Who is Lord Jesus Christ? He's a Shakyavesh, and through his deed, what is he doing? He's establishing Sadhana. But unfortunately, they misread him, misconstrued his message, they eating meat and nonsense. They didn't get the point. But he was there to establish Dharma, transcendental Dharma, of worshipping. He said, worship the Father. And then we come to within the realm of universal maintenance, utti. What is that? Look at four uttaya, same. Utti. Kamavasanaha.
Uttaya, as we know, the will, the desire, the
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 impetus.
impetus,
Yeah. The
the
impetus.
force to.
Yeah, this is very well explained. Karma vasana in Sanskrit, vasana means desires for various fruitive activities. Avidya karma samgyanya tritiya shakti deshyate. And there's a verse, Vishnu Puran. Avidya karma samgyanya. Due to avidya, we engage into fruitive activities. Karma samgyanya tritiya. That is the third. Tritiya means the third. Tritiya shakti deshyate. The third energy, Maya Shakti. She's facilitating us to fulfill our fruitive activities. That is, utti, this impetus we have in us, Purusha Viman, to enjoy and to be attached to the fruits. So you can see how, it's extremely well explained. Bhagavatam there's nothing higher than Bhagavatam. And then, so let me see, I had asked some question. Yes, in four, how does Srila Prabhupada define the third Vishnu's functions? We know who is, what is the name of the third Vishnu?
Shirodakshaya Vishnu.
Okay, and what is his function? It describes very nicely. Beginning of the purport.
Well, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, he enters the heart of every Vishnu lives as the super soul of everything in the universe,
Yes,
maintains the creation generated by Brahma.
exactly.
So I understand the third Purusha avatar. So super soul of everything. Uh, I know super soul that enters in every living entity,
Yeah,
like the Paramatma in the heart of all m- moving and non-moving jiva.
yes.
So when we say it, who lives in, he's the live as the super soul of everything in the universe. What does everything means?
See,
Is
it's,
that the way we understand that he's in every atom also?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
In other words, the term super soul applies to each and every Vishnu. Uh, let's start from number one. The Mahavishnu Karana, the Kashaya Vishnu, is also the super soul, but is the super soul of the entire cosmic manifestation. There's one super soul at this level of Mahavishnu, is the super soul of the entire creation. And then you break it down. Number two, Garbo Prakashai Vishnu, is the super soul within each Brahman. And then number three, again, a third expansion, Purushavata, is going to be the super soul within each Jiv, within the Brahman. You follow? So it's like, you know, Russian dolls. As you open one, there's one under, one under, one under.
Mm-hmm.
So now in four, very interesting. I don't know if you have to scan the purport. Prabhupada condemns religious development here. People will become bewildered. I don't know if you pay attention to that sentence in four, being illusioned by the external energy, they thus become engaged in various types of economic and religious development. is against it. Why? Let's try to understand in the context. He's against religious development. But let's try to analyze what he's trying to say. What is he referring to? The famous Purushart, one of the four pillars?
Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha.
Exactly. And we should not forget this is totally material. If you follow Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, you're going to stay in this world. Or at best, you will merge. Sayujamukti. Whereas our concern is Pancham Purushart, the Pancham, the fifth.
Bhakti.
Yes, Krishna consciousness, Shreyam Si Tatrakalu, we discussed in 1 to 23. Shreya, the ultimate, is to break free. So, in order to do that, you have to follow Shadharma, not just Upadharma. You follow? If you follow Upadharma, let's say Muslim or this or that, it's Upadharma. You're not going to go back to Kolo. No way. Because these are Upadharma, they're not Shadharma. Shadharma are meant to break you free, to emancipate you from this tabernacle of the material world. We're not
So,
here. We're not here to jump from one branch to the next in the Vedic tree. Yes, tell me.
yeah, sorry, Prabhu, if I may say, those who are involved in Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, they're I know they're practically just karmis who are going to be bound by action, reaction, good and bad.
Yeah, they're not vikarmis. Be careful. They are, like you say, karma kandis, basically.
So practically the karma kandis are more have the more possibility to become devotee because they are
Only if they turn to Krishna by the grace of the Madhyam, that they can live. Otherwise, on their own, they're going to be stuck in Kamakandiya. So they need to be told by a Madhyam about the greatness of Lord Krishna and Shreyamsi Tatrakalu. They have to understand the purpose is not to stay in this material world in the name of God.
Prabhu, but we see nowadays in the whole world, including India, people are not even following this dharmartha. They are more like vikarmis, eating meat. They are not even.
The whole world is going to hell, basically. Let's put it this way. Carlo Shudra Sambhava. Everybody is Shudra, even Lech, Shandal, Yavan. There's no way they can make it. So that is why we have to preach, because they're so mixed up, especially India. Maha mixed up. Extremely mixed up. They don't understand that even in the names of religion, you can still get caught up. Kamakandiya, you know, Gyanakandiya, Yoga. So Anyabilashita Shunyam Gyanakamanavitam, we should not be embarrassed by all these very sub secondary pathways. We're gonna get stuck. And that will not fulfill our purpose. The purpose is Prempuma Mahan, going back to Gadev. Even when you leave this world, when you leave your body, you may go through the different layers of the around the Brahmand, and you may still be a lord. You enter the earthly element, and Bhumi Devi will be there. Please come and let's serve Krishna together. And then Varun will try to entice you, and Vayu, and you follow. Even outside the universe, you'll going through the layers around the universe. It's very tricky. You have to be well established in your Ishtadev.
Mm-hmm.
And what to speak when you go through, you know, Kailash, you will see everything. It's like a tourist expedition, excursion. You're going to see everything. If you're not careful, you may get off the train in Kailash. And what to speak when you go through Spagalog. You, you know, you may, these are places of immense enjoyment. And then you go through Chanalog, Tapalog, those great souls living for billions of years. Brigu, Brihaspati, mostly Brigu, you know, the great rishis, steeped in meditation. If that is your cup of tea, you may get off the train there. And then once you are in Vikund, can you imagine? Oh, so you may get off the train there. So I mean, it's so different regions, you know, in the material world, in the spiritual world again. That's why you have to read Brihad Bhagavatam, read the story of Gokuma. Okay, let's move on.